What Reddit culture is so annoying or straight up fucked up? My friend told me I should post this thing I made here. My girlfriend said I should post this picture. So Reddit, meet my good boy. You don't need to pretend that you are a reluctant poster who is only sharing because you are urged to do so by a loved one. No one thinks you are modest or above it all, or even that you have loved ones that really want you to use Reddit. Ida went downhill hard. They used to have a rule against validation posts. They removed it because it was too subjective, while also claiming most users wanted the rule gone. In the thread they had about that, most users supported the rule. When confronted with this, the mods said there was no accurate way to poll. So they were questioned as to why they claimed the user base opposed the rule. Ever since then, most posts are validation posts with a dash of epic revenge. That type of post lends itself well to fiction. I recently read an update where they explained they showed their original post and comments to the party in question to prove their point. At the end they wrote, "Did I already know I was not the asshole? Of course I did. I just wanted to show them what impartial observers think." So they only wanted to use their post as validation as well as a weapon to use against the asshole to prove their point. There used to be a fair mix of asshole and flared posts, but now it's literally only not the asshole all the way down. Edit, here's the link to the update/validation post. I know that it's not a phenomenon exclusive to Reddit, but Reddit can be awful for it. Viral lynch mob culture. Somebody will post rage bait with little to no context. Remember that burger place that had an accidental spill getting doxxed and the staff receiving threats? The Boston bomber debacle? And everybody will absolutely dogpile the wrongdoer. I'm not talking about mean words on the internet, I'm talking of doxing, death threats, losing your job, family, literally tearing their life apart for what could have been a one-time moment of madness or a mean tweet. The problem is that, even if they're completely unrelated to the situation at hand, everybody needs to feel like they've received their own personal slice of justice. Times that by thousands of people and your life is essentially ashes. In many cases the mob victim will have done something truly shitty, but the punishment is usually always shockingly disproportionate to the wrongdoing. This happens all the time on the art subreddits. Reddit is obsessed with thinking people are tracing. There were a couple instances I can think of where both times the people were just good artists, surprise, and yet as soon as one person mentions the dreaded word tracing, people jump down the poster's throat. Suddenly art experts, I actually draw on much of what they say for evidence is totally wrong. Both times I posted defending the artist and got heartfelt thank yous. One person had deleted all her comments and PM'd me saying they'd driven her to tears. I have no idea how to stop this tracing conspiracy theory that pops up so often, but it drives me absolutely nuts. Things like this are part of what make Reddit great, but also awful. On one hand, a depressed person doesn't feel suicidal because they wore a colorful shirt, and Reddit largely showers them in support/compliments to help them out. That is good. Empathy matters. On the other, if getting online affirmation for wearing a shirt or doing the dishes is what is keeping you going, that is not sustainable, and this isn't going to get easier. Also, in regards to online affirmation, I couldn't fucking imagine proposing to my girlfriend and then that same very day posting it on Reddit for thousands of strangers. Forcing them to care and putting a karma number on my proposal. If I were to do that, I hope my then fiancé dumps my ass in the morning. On one hand I can absolutely agree, on the other hand my therapist flat out told me to find just one thing, no matter how big or small, that made me not want to die. I chose my dogs. They have been my reason to wake up in the morning. It's not something that will work in the long run, and it won't make depression any easier. But if wearing a colorful shirt or doing your chores is what gets you out of bed every day without a struggle, then by all means please keep doing the things. It's like how telling someone with depression to just snap out of it is unhelpful, but it is also a harsh truth about life. I suffer from depression, but snapping out of it, even just briefly, is sometimes the only thing to do. The world is harsh and sometimes you have to drop coping mechanisms and empathy and embrace the harshness. Empathy is great and what people with mental health problems need, however it is dangerous to rely on that alone, as there will be time when there is none around. I've told myself on multiple occasions, I don't have the time to be depressed right now. I really need to get shit done. I just think about Aurelius and the shit he pulled through and get some perspective. On some days, you really can't afford to be depressed. I probably won't give other people this advice, but sometimes I do need to show myself some tough love. On one hand, a depressed person doesn't feel suicidal because they wore a colorful shirt, and Reddit largely showers them in support/compliments to help them out. That is good. Empathy matters. It's not sincere. It's completely fake. It's not empathy. It's mostly virtue signaling, as the best virtue signaler is awarded with upvotes and karma and gold and so on. So people compete with each other to show their empathy. The reality of it is that all of those awesome commenters tripping over each other to celebrate the depressed guy's colorful shirt go through their real lives shouting at people in traffic, cutting in line, and not being in general a nice person. Because in real life there is no award system for doing so. Meanwhile, the guy who got all the attention for his one Reddit post feels bright under the spotlight, but then the spotlight goes to the next guy and nobody gives a fuck about him for more than the 15 minutes his post stayed on the front page. Then it's back to people ignoring him or being casually cruel to him in real life and him wondering what he needs to do to get that Reddit attention again. If people just acted like that in real life it would be different, but they don't. You can be on the sidewalk bleeding and people will step over you to get to the important thing they need to do. So, no, there is no cure to that guy's depression, and in fact it's teaching him he can get fake sympathy by acting some shit out on Reddit. Now go look at subs like Ida and various others where people make up stories to get upvotes, sympathy and attention, and you can see the logical conclusion of all of that fake love. I'm severely depressed. I've known I've suffered depression for a long time, but it wasn't until this pandemic that I realized both how severe and how long I've been depressed. A pattern of behaviors in my life that I've written off to laziness and apathy I believe are directly attributable to my depression. Seeing these images posted on Reddit has actually been a huge help to me. A couple months ago, there was just enough clear floor space in my home that you can walk around from place to place, often having to step over things or choose your footing carefully. I've been cleaning up the place, and my quality of life has improved dramatically. I still spend most of my day at my computer, but I have space next to my chair now for a cat tree so my cats can come and easily hang out with me. I have space now so that I can actually use the VR headset I bought years ago. I can set up a table to play board games when my GF is over, and once this pandemic ends I'll be able to host game nights. Phew, I agree with the general sentiment that a lot of stuff in r/pics is just uninteresting stuff upvoted because sob story, and honestly I can't really come up with a very good reason why these I clean my shit posts shouldn't fall into that same bucket. But what can I say? A major improvement in my life is directly attributable to them. Also, there's r/no context pics, which I think serves well for what most people want r/pics to be. It's so annoying. I had an argument recently about autism, not on Reddit though. I'm a psychologist even though it's not my specialty, I do know enough about the subject. These two ladies who have sons with nonverbal autism were arguing that all of people with autism have such a severe form. And anything less is not autism. They even tried to prove to me that ASD and autism are two different things. I stopped talking after one of them tried to dismiss my words comparing me to her autistic son. Talking to you is like talking to him. Okay then. Autism spectrum disorder is one of those disorders that people love to armchair diagnose, so I understand the pain of trying to explain the reality of the disorder. Discussions about ASD are actually one of the only situations on Reddit where I will comment, because much like those ladies you argued with, people are so misinformed on the disorder. I don't want people spreading misinformation. The armchair diagnosing is out of control. I'm also not a fan of wanting to put a diagnosis on everyone. Some people just have weird habits or are assholes. It doesn't mean they have this complicated diagnosis that will lead to them murdering their family in the middle of the night, just chill out. Indeed, different subs attract different types, in addition to which each sub evolves to match the behavior of the clientele, and within that sub will form a behavior pattern that matches the general personality types drawn to that content. If you yourself live within only a small group of subs, then you will likely conflate the behavior and opinions there to be how Reddit is. This is the same pattern as Facebook feeds. What you see is a representation not of the site, but of the people you have come to surround yourself with. You are in a bubble of your own creation. Therefore the people who think Reddit is all edgy teens are likely only visiting areas of the site where edgy teens visit, in the same way that some people complain that Facebook is all insert stereotype behavior. This isn't the site at fault, but the people that they have on their friends list. It always makes me smile when I read people complain that Facebook is full of people who just post pictures of their meal or whatever. No, Facebook isn't like that, your social circle is. They have an Avenger complex and a superior complex. The Avenger complex is when anyone or company does anything bad they would just post memes and nothing change. They would also post memes where it'll say Redditors assemble and that is fucking cringe. Superior complex is that they believe that Reddit is always superior than every social media and that Reddit is where any memes originated. They hate that Insta is stealing their shit memes even though they steal from other sites and from each other. They also think they're smarter than everyone. When a person on any social platform says that Reddit is garbage, they always put that meme of the guy who says never ever have I heard something that I agree on, but when some person has an opinion on Reddit they bully the shit out him. I probably have more to put down but I won't. I like Reddit, I hate most Redditors. The memes here are worse than wiping a homeless person's ass because it's the same memes with different format. Nobody cares about your opinion. Social media has an agreed upon definition. Social media are interactive computer-mediated technologies that facilitate the creation or sharing of information, ideas, career interests and other forms of expression via virtual communities and networks. Why is there always someone who wants to argue over defined terms? diaps://www.reddit.com/r/as_credit/comment/ee298/what_reddit_so_straight_up/do you honestly think the definition was up for debate? Or did it literally never occur to you that after over 20 years of social media existing, nobody in the world got around to codifying a definition? My personal opinion is that it never occurred to you people to think that you might be incorrect. You knew there's a definition, you knew you've never looked it up, you just assumed that you were absolutely 100% correct about it. Literal Dunning-Kruger. Nobody cares what you consider to be social media. You don't matter. You aren't the arbiter of what is and is not social media. You didn't create it. You aren't advancing it. You likely haven't ever created anything. The idea that your opinion matters is laughably pretentious. This is a major problem across Reddit. There are actual experts with actual degrees and actual knowledge and actual experience, and some rando Redditor assumes their opinion actually matters. You're already on the internet. Just look up what the actual experts have actually determined instead of relying on your total lack of knowledge or experience. But you can't. Because you don't actually realize you have no idea what you're talking about. Because Dunning-Kruger. You know so little, you cannot comprehend how little you actually know.